It's very easy to be happy and blissful when we're lying on a beach with the sea in front of us and the beautiful sun, and we're being waited on hand and foot. And yet, what happens if things aren't going quite so well in your day-to-day life? What happens if you work with someone that every time you have a conversation with them, even virtually, they manage to suck the will to live from you? Even worse, what happens if you're living with someone that sucks the will to live from you? And a lot of people often ask me, what do you do to protect yourself from those situations? And I really think that that's the wrong question, because when you are looking and observing somebody, your point of focus is actually creating an emotional response. And that emotional response is something that exists within you. So if you feel irritated by somebody, no one can irritate you unless it already exists within you. So that person has simply triggered something already within you. If you look at people, situations, events, there's so much information about even just one person. I remember once when I was walking in the park with a woman that I'd been coaching, and it had been a very, very emotional session. And so I just thought I'd take her for a walk in Knoll Park and just to ground and feel better. And as we were walking along, and it's a beautiful park, Knoll Park, there was a lovely oak tree, and there were all of these big crows all in a big circle on the ground. And it was like they were having a meeting. They were just chatting to each other, and there was one crow talking, and then the other crow was responding, and then another one was, and it was just like having a meeting of the crows. And there was something incredibly magical about it. And I remember turning to this woman and saying, "Look, isn't that magical? Look at those crows." And she turned round to me and she said, "I don't like crows. They peck out the eyes of baby lambs." Now, both aspects, both awarenesses of the crows are very, very true. So there is within all of us, kind of black, white, and all the shades in between. We are everything. So it really depends on whether you're focusing on the aspect of the crows that cause you to feel better, or whether you're focusing on the aspect of the crows that are causing you to feel upset or negative or distressed in some way. And that's why I think the challenge is never about trying to change another person or trying to put resistance or trying to protect yourself from them. Because actually, the minute you notice that somebody has had an impact on you that feels as if your own energy is being drained, there's a really important lesson in there for you, because you're being told straight away, focus on something different. If you're focusing on something and it's making you feel drained, then change your focus. You change your focus, you change how you feel. And this is really important because so often we see people and we can look at people through the eyes of criticism and judgment. And when we look for things wrong with that person, we'll always find things wrong with that person, always, because we're looking for it. And when we look for things that makes that person really lovely and special and lovable, then strangely we find that. So what really is important to hold in mind is that when we notice our own emotional reactions to people or situations are not as we would like them to be, then the challenge becomes changing our focus, changing the way we look at things. Because when we change the way we look at things, those things we look at change. So this is my challenge for you on the next week. Just make sure that whenever you're not feeling really positive and uplifted and enlivened, just change your point of focus and look for the good. And there's a wonderful question that I really always ask myself if I'm feeling a bit crotchety or irritable or a bit kind of meh. What I ask myself is, what would love say here? What would love do here? And that gives you such a different perspective instantly that it just softens the prickliness in you. And when your prickliness has been softened, you change your vibrational frequency. And in that shift in frequencies, everything appears different. So don't ever feel that you have to protect yourself from anyone or anything within reason. And just notice that it's simply feedback. And if that person comes into your life and triggers a negative emotion in you, in a funny sort of way, they're like a teacher. They're entering your world to teach you something. I hope that's been of use. Bye for now.